Dear Spirit, please connect me with a past loved one of any of my subscribers or anyone who will be watching this video. I'm receiving the words, witness and see their faces. I receive the word attorneys and the word superintendent. I was given immediately a superintendent of schools. I was also shown this superintendent. I was given an image. So, in a previous episode of the Dead Speak series, there was channeling about corruption in schools having to do with child trafficking. And the visual I received in that episode could have been more than one episode, but there was at least one prior to this one. And a metaphorical principle was shown sitting on top of a steeple, where it was described that the balance that a principal has in order to, and we're talking about principals who are involved with child trafficking, they have a job to do as principals and an image to uphold in order to carry out that job. And so to simultaneously carry out the organizational aspects and logistical aspects of child trafficking. And so I was shown a principle like sitting on top of a pointed steeple, representing the fine balance that is required to make it all happen in a way where they don't get caught. And so that steeple that the principal was sitting on was kind of like a steeple of a small church. But in this case, with the word superintendent, I was shown the superintendent on a very large steeple. An extra wide, extra tall steeple. I'm receiving the words, while in the dark. Things are very well hidden in the dark. Things are happening literally in the dark. I'm seeing people in schools at night. Adults. These are school administrators, like front office people. Including principals, administrative staff, anyone who would work in the front office of a school. Custodian. I'm getting the word custodian, and I'm getting that like maintenance people are involved. There's some kind of, I'm kind of honing in on a certain energy. I feel like this is regarding a specific school, but the superintendent is involved. And the superintendent oversees whatever they're doing in regards to child trafficking, and I'll look into that in a second. This is literally about child trafficking, or the steps leading up to it. Okay, it's all involved. So I do see this happening in, it could be potentially all schools that the superintendent oversees. But right now I'm honing in on one school. This school is represented by the colors black and red. Okay, so I'm picking up on another school, and I'm getting the word pirates for that school. So this is 2 schools so far. I'm getting the word munchkins. This was a word that was used to describe the children who were trafficked in that previous episode I spoke about. I also received the word month. So munchkin and month. I'm getting that camera surveillance is involved. I'm getting that that's part of what's going on at night is I'm being shown a classroom. Yeah, there's like hidden cameras being placed in classrooms. I'm sorry, coming through. I'm being shown like somebody bulldozing their way through the hallways of a school, trying to get people out of their way so they can walk through the hall. I'm getting that there's like an adult representing many adults. So it's not just one adult. And they are like bully kids, like just delighting in their own power over the kids. And I'm seeing like middle school aged and elementary school aged. I'm also getting that there are high schoolers recruited to participate in this somehow. That's the impression I'm getting, because as I hone in on the energies of these different grades, like elementary school, middle school, and high school, I'm getting that the trafficking is happening with the younger kids, and that there are high schoolers involved. Like, some of them could be being trafficked as well. I'm not saying that they're not. I'm just saying that it's less. And some of the people in high school, the children who are involved, are actually paid. And it's, this is like a covert operation. I don't feel like, it feels more like they're bullies. being used to lower someone's self-esteem or self-worth, or make someone feel small or unsafe. You know, these tactics to make someone in fear. And being shown like the adult in the hallway again. And that's what they're doing too. They're just acting like the high schoolers. I'm getting the word subs and the word network. There's like a network of subs. And this is how they can get people who aren't like regular teachers into the schools in order to surveil the kids. Paras too. Para-educators, I'm getting. It's like it's used as a distraction, as a excuse for why something different might happen in the day, or why, you know, the schedule might be disrupted, or why the children might do things that they're not used to doing, or it's used to like throw off the day and to be used as like a reason to justify why certain things might happen, such as taking pictures of students, such as separating students, bullying students, making them do things that their regular teacher wouldn't do, such as like unreasonable expectations. Okay, so I'm getting that like this is how they test the children. They do certain things to put them in situations where maybe they're not allowed to sit with their friends, or they're required to work in groups of people that are their known adversaries, or just to be problematic, like, you know, kids that don't get along with each other or something like this. Put them in certain situations, have the sub or the paraeducator like treat them in certain ways in order to judge their reactions. They're like tests to see how the children or the child will respond, to gauge their sense of will, their intelligence, their level of you know, standing up for themselves, like what it will take for them to stand up for themselves, whether or not they can be brought to tears, what they will do if they are brought to tears. This is all like observed. The children are tested to see who is a good fit for trafficking. If they're going to fall for it, they're going to fall for what, Spirit? Sensuous labor. I'm asking for clarification about those two words. I'm getting that there are certain children who, during stages of testing, are given certain tasks or experiences that put them in, it's like some kind of work is being done physically, or there's some kind of like a situation or perhaps something they're looking at which would be inappropriate, sensually, and this is okay. So this is a word that applies broadly. So the kids are tested. I don't have a better word for that, but it's like they're put through these observational situations where they're given certain stimuli to see how they'll react. And that's what I mean by test. And some of these tests involve things like physical touch, viewing things that might be questionable, like photographs or videos or something. And what I'm getting, it's like if you were to watch a movie and it would be like rated PG-13, but it'd be real borderline to rated R. And so they watch like a film or something, and the kids are like observed and judged how they respond to certain things. Poor judgment. They're looking for poor judgment in the children. I don't know why I just received the word tarot. And this is related to schools somehow. I've been asking, I was shown the superintendent on an extra large steeple at the beginning of this reading. I've been trying to tap more into this energy, and what I'm getting is that there is a superintendent, and actually I'm getting like more than one person. So like in the office of the superintendent's office, I'm getting there's like people using tarot cards to monitor situations in the schools, perhaps monitor people who might be suspecting anything about child trafficking in schools. So there's some spiritual spying going on in regards to the superintendent and people in the superintendent's office. So like admins and whoever else might work with the superintendent. Okay, I was given the words spiritual gifts, and the superintendent and the people in the superintendent's office are using tarot cards to read someone who has spiritual gifts. received the letters FM, and this was referring to like radio. There's something going on with like the lunch people. Spirit is showing me like people who prepare lunches. There's something, it's like a lunch lady has two bottles in her hand. It's almost like a restaurant, like somebody would bring Tabasco to your table or something like that. And it's weird because like they wouldn't serve like hot sauce at a school. So I feel like there's something odd being given to the kids who get hot lunch. Or there's just something, I'm not sure yet, something happening in the lunchroom with the lunch staff. There's something odd happening with the lunch staff, even if it has nothing to do with hot sauce. The station would be nice. What is going on with this FM? This is related to FM. The station would be nice. What does this mean, Spirit? Oh my God. Okay. I received the words, I'm getting there, and was shown a truck. Like a semi-truck. So it's like, there's someone on their way to get kids. And there's something happening at night about this. A station. There's a certain station, like on the CB radio that they use. There's a station that they go to, like a parking area. Being shown like an empty parking lot. Like a large empty parking lot. I'm also being shown there's a fence around it. That's pretty specific, but it could have a fence around it. Like a carpool parking lot? Oh, okay. Yeah, this would be like, like state agencies have carpool lots. Or like areas where people park their car in order to catch the carpool. I don't know what that's called. There's like a certain kind of parking lot like that. I'm being shown it's like right off the freeway. Close to the freeway. So weird. So I'm being shown like cars coming to this lot. And the children arriving in these cars. And this is where they are transferred to the truck. going down a really dark path. I don't know how much more I can go deeper, but I just received the words first and virgin. And this was being explained to me as a sorting technique where, somehow the children are sorted in this way. I'll say one more thing about this, and then I'm going to move on to something else. The words first and virgin. They are referring to multiple things, but primarily I'm getting that the children are being sorted, and this has to do with girls mostly. I'm getting that mostly girls are trafficked, and they're sorted by whether or not they've had their period, whether or not they're menstruating yet or not is what I'm saying. Sometimes things like this are hard for me because I don't necessarily want to accept what I'm receiving. But what I'm getting, I'm just going to say it, is that the cars that are arriving, it's like they are state agency cars. Like some of them could be private vehicles, but I'm getting that this is some kind of arrangement. I'm getting that like the state is involved. Like the travelers. Okay, so like people who need to get a car, they work for the state, they need to get a car to travel. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm getting that some of these travelers are actually involved. There are kids which are taken from different parts of the state or different parts of an area. Like I'm literally seeing local and statewide. So what I'm seeing is like, I'm needing to be shown like what it looks like, and that could represent something local, but the process could be applied statewide or even across the nation, because I'm getting, oh god, okay, it's flooding in here. So there are many Dead Speak readings that I have not posted, and a couple of them have to do with child trafficking. And these readings, I did the readings, I just didn't edit or do any of the other things that I do. And there's other reasons why I didn't post them. But I will just say that this is definitely a multi-state production. And Michigan, Utah, California, and Washington states were significant in those prior readings. I didn't catch all of the words, but it was like a child asking for a movie. Like asking an adult, can you turn on a movie? Oh my god. Spirit is bringing this through to represent The children have nothing to do. They're bored. And they're just waiting. They're just used. And they're wanting to be distracted by what's going on around them. And they're young. And movies make them happy. Someone please help these children. In your name. I just received the words, in your name. The Spirit is telling me that there is a business. There's some kind of organization that is not under the correct name. Someone else's name is being used on some kind of a business which traffics children. But I'm getting that it's actually like whatever paperwork is involved, perhaps with a business license or I don't know, some kind of like documents that might be required by the state or the city or wherever the business is, that a person's name is on there that is not associated with that business. Like somebody used someone else's name instead of their own. I just received the word fallout. I don't exactly know what Fallout means. I know it's a video game. It might have something to do with, like a shelter. Yeah. Yeah, I'm being shown a shelter or some kind of a building where children are kept. It isn't like a fallout shelter, isn't that like an underground thing? I'm being shown something above ground though. I'm getting the name, and it's like shelter, almost like it's like a home, like a home for like orphans, or like they would be a home for kids that didn't have parents, or like foster children or something. It's like a front. The above ground is like a front. So there's something significant about a fallout shelter. In my previous reading, I was shown like underground tunnels and rooms off of those tunnels where certain rituals are performed with the children. And so this could be the fallout shelter that I was being shown. Also, in a previous reading that I didn't post, there was an adoption agency involved with trafficking out of Utah, out of Ogden, Utah. Okay. I'm inquiring about the superintendent. There's some kind of cloaking around him. This steeple is like cloaking him. I didn't mean to say he, but I'm saying he. So this is a man. He is involved with other, like, state agency, like, higher up people. Spirit is also letting me know that this superintendent is somehow screening teachers, somehow to see if they are like a good fit for filling roles which would allow trafficking. Okay, so it's like a teacher applies for the school, and I don't know the hiring process, but if you have a recommendation from the superintendent, it looks real nice. Oh boy. I'm getting that this superintendent is... Oh gosh. I'm getting kind of like a misogynist type of person. Someone who might like call female teachers like honey or buttercup. That's the word Spirit gave me. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, so I'm getting there's an extra layer to this recommendation that a teacher might obtain by the superintendent. And that extra layer involves either putting up with misogynistic advances or just sleeping your way to the top kind of thing. Yeah. And I'm getting that this happens or has happened many times. I'm describing things that could be happening in multiple places.